If he shows up and does the exact right thing, he can win the fight. If he don't do the right thing, which I don't see him doing, I don't know why he would at this point in his career. I don't know.
Spectacular. I told everybody Terence Crawford's pound for pound number one. Most journalists and writers in the sport have ranked Terence Crawford.
Difficult. He needs to handle and maintain the speed and improve his power. That's what I did. Like, maintain your speed and improve your power.
Roy Jones Jr. didn't hold back when discussing a potential showdown between Terence Bud Crawford and Floyd Mayweather. According to Jones, Crawford wouldn't just win, he'd crush Mayweather. Roy believes Crawford's combination of sharp instincts, timing, power, and adaptability makes him the kind of fighter Floyd always avoided during his career. He argues that Mayweather's perfect 50-0 record was carefully managed to steer clear of opponents who could truly expose his limits. In Jones' view, Crawford is that rare fighter, skilled, fearless, and versatile enough to drag Floyd out of his comfort zone and dominate him where Mayweather once ruled.
You're leaning towards Crawford, is that correct?
I'm not saying I'm leaning toward him. I love both guys. Both guys are great fighters. Well, I can't say I'm leaning. I am leaning toward Crawford. I am. And not because Canelo is not a great fighter, but because I don't know. There's a lot of I don't knows about Canelo. You feel me? So I don't know if Canelo's hungry. I know Bud is hungry. Bud stays hungry. I don't know if Canelo's hungry. Bud has never got the recognition for what he deserves like Canelo has. You understand me? So Bud is still hungry for that recognition. When you're hungry like that, a determined man, it's very hard to detour.
Roy Jones Jr. broke down exactly why he believes Terence Crawford is a once-in-a-generation fighter. First, he praised Crawford's ring IQ, calling it among the best he's ever seen, the ability to read opponents, adapt mid-fight, and shift strategy seamlessly. Second, Roy highlighted Crawford's stance versatility, noting how his switch hitting, moving effortlessly between orthodox and southpaw, keeps opponents guessing and off-balanced. Third, Jones focused on Crawford's punch setup and timing, how he mixes feints, jabs, and body-to-head combinations to create perfect openings. Fourth, he pointed out Crawford's elite footwork and lateral movement, saying he knows how to control distance, create angles, and stay elusive while still being in perfect position to counter.
10, maybe even your top 5.
Where do you rank Terence, in your opinion?
I put him in the top 15, maybe the top 10. Because he definitely has the skill of a top 5. Just that he hasn't had the opposition that some guys were able to get. And that's not his fault. He just made one of the best fighters in his weight class look like nobody. That's pretty damn good. Now he proved what we already thought. We just didn't see him against the best opposition near his weight class. See, this is the thing people don't understand. This is what I like about Bud. He reminds me of Roy. We ain't got to have the best opposition in our weight class. We want the best opposition near our weight class.
There's been discussion that maybe Crawford and Inoue are going back and forth tussling for pound for pound. That maybe Inoue because of the multiple weight divisions. You're shaking your head no. Tell me why no.
Because Inoue also, when he first moved up, he lost to Donnell. Don't forget that. Bud ain't lost nobody. Moving up or down, he moved up 3 times. He lost nobody. Don't tell me he better than Bud, no.
Roy Jones Jr. believes Terence Crawford is operating at the absolute peak of his powers, a rare moment when experience, confidence, and physical ability all align. Undefeated, disciplined, and endlessly adaptable, Crawford has shown he can carry his power through multiple weight classes while maintaining the same sharpness and composure that defined him at lighter divisions. At 167.5 pounds, Jones says, Crawford possesses a perfect balance, the speed of a welterweight, the strength of a middleweight, and the fight IQ of a seasoned master. He's not just winning, he's solving opponents, outthinking and outmaneuvering them in ways few fighters can.
As Canelo Alvarez has been a great fighter his whole career, people like Erislandy Lara gave you the blueprint on how to beat him. People like Floyd Mayweather also gave you the blueprint on how to beat him. But Bud is more fierce, more fearsome and more angrier and more meaner than both of those guys. So if they showed you the blueprint, Bud gonna go out there, take that blueprint and do even more with it, which is what Bud did. So it was never a question in my mind whether Bud really was going to outbox me, just if he could take the punch. And right away he showed, bam, he could take the punch. So I knew from that point, if he just slow him down, which he did, he'd be okay. Then late in the fight, what other people still didn't see, late in the fight, Bud started hitting Canelo's body. One of those body shots, I think about the 7th or 8th round, hurt Canelo. I was like, whoa. Bud hit him in the right spot then, and he got Canelo's respect with that too. So Bud fought a very, very awesome fight, fought a beautiful fight, very tactical.
Very controlled.
Yes, it was a beautiful fight for boxing.
It was a beautiful fight. You know, Bud got hit with some shots.
He did. He did.
He got hit with some single shots going out. You know, he's going out, and you know Canelo, if he has you trapped in the corner or along the ropes, it's typically 1 to 2 big shots. You know that if you've watched him.
Yep.
So you could tell Crawford, as he was going out, he knew the one shot was coming, and several times it landed. He even got hit with a 2-piece. I don't remember what round it was, uppercut right hand that Crawford took well. So when you started seeing him absorb the shots, if you're Team Crawford, you don't want him to take that shot. But if you started seeing that, now you know that, okay. And I think that's what gave Crawford the green light to stay there a little bit longer.
He smiled about it.
He smiled about it.
Yeah.
And sometimes that smile can be a lie, and sometimes that smile can mean what I think it meant for Crawford, which is, oh, that's not as bad as I thought it was.
Critics argue that a potential fight between Terence Crawford and Floyd Mayweather could risk tarnishing Crawford's hard-earned legacy. They suggest that stepping into what would likely be a spectacle-style matchup might make it seem as though Crawford is chasing a payday rather than continuing his pursuit of greatness. After all, Mayweather's recent ventures have leaned toward lucrative exhibitions, not legacy-defining contests. Analysts warn that Crawford's reputation, built on discipline, risk-taking, and defeating elite opponents in their prime, could be overshadowed by the optics of fighting a retired legend whose focus has shifted from competition to promotion. Still, many critics also question the historical context of Mayweather's biggest wins. Canelo Alvarez was just 22 years old and still developing when he lost to Floyd. Manny Pacquiao, meanwhile, later revealed he fought with a torn shoulder during their 2015 showdown, circumstances that left fans debating what IFS for years. Moreover, Mayweather's refusal to offer rematches to either fighter only deepened the sense of unfinished business.
Than Terence Crawford. We need to really talk about this now. A lot of you guys are putting Crawford a bit too high. If you want to say Crawford could beat Floyd, I'm more open to that conversation, but when you're lining up the careers, I'm going to say Floyd every time. While they're both 5 division, Bud has become 3-time undisputed, but he's only fought 10 world champions to Floyd's 25 world champions. You can't take away the 5 division, 3-time undisputed. In terms of accolades, yeah, he probably gets the nod over Floyd. I say their accolades are about relative, considering Floyd Mayweather won Fighter of the Decade as well. But when you get to the resumes, Pacquiao, Oscar, Canelo, Cotto, Mosley, Castillo, Marquez, Zab, Gotti, Hatton, and Corley. It's probably way more people that this guy just didn't name. And then when you get to Bud's resume, not saying it's just bad, but the only names that's really worth mentioning is going to be Spence and Canelo. It's not a knock on Bud. Bud was not able to make those fights early on in his career. But I got to tell you guys what it is. Bud's resume just doesn't line up with Floyd's. Take their top 20 wins. Bud don't even got 20 wins to really sit here and name. Floyd got a good 20-something plus. Bud probably got about 15, 10